Well, Merry Christmas, filthy animals. Welcome to this next installment of Movie Mutations. Hi, guys. This is, of course, Andrew Cabral, one of our main judges here. And, of course, we got our... What were you going to say?
I was going to say, we're back here for a holiday festival of mutations, essentially.
Festivus.
Festivus for the rest of us.
And our special guest judge tonight, he is a friend of mine. Used to be a Food Line employee. How's the new job going?
It's going good. We're enjoying it. We're working hard.
Good, man. Well, this is RJ, man. RJ, he is a film enthusiast. He is actually working on an online pop culture magazine kind of thing.
Yes, sir. Digital magazine.
Awesome, man. Well, keep us up to date with that. Home Alone. That's going to be the movie we're mutating tonight. If you didn't get that from the dress up here on the stage here. 1993? 94? 95? I should know this.
I think 1991.
God, is it that old? God, I feel old.
Maybe the time.
I got my.
Does it make you feel older that I wasn't remotely alive?
Oh, actually,
this movie?
1990, so even older
Son of
than
a
we
bitch.
thought.
I was a year old.
So I was 3 when this came out, and I remember distinctly seeing this.
And he wasn't even born.
I wasn't a thought. I wasn't even.
That's crazy. Coincidentally, 35th anniversary of the movie.
Yeah.
They didn't even factor that into this whole thing.
I did not plan that.
No.
Just thought I'd just do this movie.
It brings back fond memories and nostalgia for, I think, many, many people from our generation, Stephen, who grew up with this movie and its sequel. And then, of course, it went on to have multiple sequels after that, which I don't think anyone really talks about, because I don't think it got a theatrical release past the third movie.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think the rest were straight to DVD, pretty much. But the first one is the one everyone remembers. It's Macaulay Culkin. It's the classic holiday movie that's quintessential. Every single year, it's played on TV, it's streamed, it's watched on disc, it's everywhere.
It is. It's a mainstay in my house. So we'll be watching this soon. I don't know if it's suitable for the kid yet. She's 3. I don't know. Should I be showing her a movie where she terrorizes adults? Where the kid I don't know if it's a good idea if the kid.
I don't know. Well, I saw it when I was 3, so I don't know if that is any indication of.
I don't know what your home life is like, but
it used me to like I guess not because the movie doesn't have swear words in it, but
not really.
Joe Pesci just really, really wants to swear all the time in the movie.
Well, I mean, if you know anything about the behind the scenes, there is a factoid that
he made up his own swear words, right?
Well, no, that he cussed so much on set that there was a swear jar on set that he had to keep putting money in.
Oh,
so
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he was like just piling in the money and just But let's get this game started. So we're gonna introduce our players. I'm gonna say goodbye to you guys for a little while, so don't fall asleep back there. They're gonna be listening to our players' pitches tonight and deciding who is getting closer to being the owner of this new whatever it's gonna be. So let's go see what our players, and then we'll get into the game. See you guys. All right. So, oh my God. Jeez, Kevin.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Ah, yes. So, if you don't know him, God, we got Kevin McAllister here, and I guess, is this John Candy? Is that no?
I guess.
Yeah, no, you could. I mean, I could have picked, one of his brothers. That wouldn't have been a good choice, but these are our 2 players that are going to be mutating Home Alone. We got Mr. Dustin Putman, who has done a few of these games behind the scenes, and along with Tony here, and they're ready to go. How you doing, man?
Good, thank you. How about you? Thank you for having us on.
Yeah, doing well. Very excited.
Good. Now, starting with you, Dustin. Home Alone. Where does this fall in your life? Is it a favorite? Is it you don't give a shit? Like what?
Oh no. I think I may have actually suggested it when we were talking about ideas.
Who knows, man? I don't remember nothing. So,
but yeah, it came out. Yeah, I think in November of 1990, and so I would have been a year away from being 9 years old. So
wow,
I
damn, you're aging yourself, man.
know I saw it opening night in the theater. And what's funny, and I mean, I loved it instantly, and I've watched it I've watched it too many times to count over the years. But what's funny is it was such a juggernaut at the box office and lasted so long that I remember. So yeah, it started in November, and I remember going to a friend's birthday party the following May, and it was still playing in theaters. And that was the movie that we saw.
That used to be the reality, man. I mean, there used to be so people don't understand this. Like, there used to be so many less movies being made that the ones that were out there played forever. And I mean, why? Who cares? Like, if it's good, it's good. You go see it again, or home video was starting to make its way, more and more out there during that time. But it's like, it's just part of the problem right now. Like, why theaters are having, like, the whole system's just gotten so bloated.
Yeah, I mean, you're lucky to last 2 or 3 weeks in the theaters now.
Yeah, so there's no room anymore, and less theaters. So but Tony, Home Alone is it liked?
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely a favorite for sure. My partner absolutely adores it. She tries to watch it every Christmas Day, but I made it Christmas Eve because I have a traditional Christmas Day movie double to watch for Christmas. Okay. And it's this. This is my usual double.
Oh, nice.
I watch these every year I watch these every Christmas Day without fail, but Home Alone, I do watch every Christmas Eve, which is fantastic.
My favorite Santa. No, I'm just
kidding. Yes. Yeah, it came out here when I was 11 years old in 1990, and yeah, it did last forever, but I didn't see it theatrically, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I waited for VHS, and still hilarious to this day, 35 years later.
As we were talking about before, this has become a franchise. Which ones do you prefer, first or second one?
Well, to me, it'll always be first.
Okay. You were thinking about it for a second.
I was, because the number 2 had some great moments, but all in all, it's the first. Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I saw the second one on opening night as well. Yeah. And at the time, as a 9-year-old, it was like instantly like one of my favorite movies, and I thought it was better than the original. But now I believe the original is better.
Okay.
And I don't really acknowledge any past the second one.
Oh, no. I mean, the third one's not terrible. Obviously, it didn't have Macaulay Culkin anymore, but like, it's not that. It's got some like surprisingly like I think good cast members in that movie. Like, but yeah, I mean, I have a hard, like you said, Tony, good moments in two. And just being in New York and just having that vast canvas of things to do, and of course, like Duncan's toy chest and the homeless woman in the park and what is it? Who's the manager of the hotel?
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry. God, I mean, just and then I had the little recording machine that he had. I had that recorder when I was a kid. I loved it. So just and just so yeah. I mean, obviously, it's one of them sequels where it kind of replays the first movie, but just in a different area. So it's not
it does.
Yeah.
So it's almost a remake.
I mean,
it is, but it's a tad more extreme, more violent. It's a little bit more violent than the original.
It is. I mean, people like to compare this movie to a non-Christmas movie, which is Die Hard. But because I'm one of them guys that is on the no Die Hard Christmas.
Oh no, I'm with you there. I agree with you there totally.
Thank you, God. I love when I hear somebody else agree. I don't want to turn this into a Die Hard movie debate, but similarly to that, it's a very similar plot again, but in the second movie. But let's get out of this, man. Let's do this. So in movie Mutations, what we do here is we break down the movie at the center of the game. So we go through 3 rounds. We have the genre round. We have the cast round is third round. I'm blanking. I'm sorry, guys. Director round in our second round, and third round is the cast round. So at the beginning of each round, these guys are going to have to go through a round of trivia to gain an advantage. And these advantages are predetermined genres, directors, and then the third round has a fun little thing we'll get to at the end. But yeah, so we break this movie down, we twist it through these pitches these guys are going to give, and have a lot of fun. You guys ready?
Ready?
Yep, ready to go.
All right. So in round one, the genre round, these guys are going to have these three. We'll get back to this in a second, but there are three predetermined genres they're going to mess with to turn Home Alone into is a dystopian movie, a martial arts film, or a body horror film. Now, the loser of this trivia round will have to pick from the two mystery picks that we'll tell you after trivia. So here we go. Let's get into round one's trivia. You guys will buzz in with your names. Question 1. What is Kevin's favorite type of pizza?
Tony. Double cheese.
Plain cheese. I'll take it. 1 to Tony. Question number 2. And if I didn't say it, first to 5 points wins. What is the brand name of the soda that gets spilled everywhere during dinner?
Tony.
Pepsi. That is correct. Tony's up 2-0. Here we go. Question 3. What is the name of the pizzeria that Kevin's family orders their pizza from?
Dustin. Nero's Pizza?
I will accept Little Nero's Pizza.
Yes.
All right. Question number 4. What is the name of the fake gangster movie that Kevin watches?
Dustin. Angels with Dirty Souls.
Oh, I gave you the last one, but I'm not going to give you this one, even though it's so close. It's Angels with Filthy Souls.
Oh, no.
It's the same thing. You just described it differently. I'm sorry. I gave you the last one, not saying little. I felt like I need to be a little bit more exacting on this one. All right. So still 2-1. Question 5. By what name are the burglars Harry and Marv known as?
Tony.
Oh, God. I think it was almost a tie. I want to say Dustin was just a little bit quicker.
The Wet Bandits.
That is right. We are now 2-2. Going to question 6. What is the name of the company written on Harry and Marv's van?
Dustin.
Yes.
Is it OK?
OK Plumbing and Heating.
Yeah.
All right. Question 7. What specific item does Kevin need to buy from the store?
Dustin. Milk, eggs, and fabric softener.
Incorrect.
Oh.
One specific item he really needs to get.
Oh.
Tony, do you answer?
Milk.
Incorrect. It is a toothbrush.
Oh.
Although he does buy those at the...
He does. Now, at this point, since we only got... It's going to be whoever gets the most right after 10 questions, because that's all I'm planned for. All right. Here we go. Question 8. What is the name of John Candy's characters, Gus Polowski's polka band? What's the name of the band?
Dustin.
Yeah.
The Polka Kings?
No.
Oh.
The Poconos?
Incorrect. We have the Kenosha Kickers.
Oh.
That's a deep cut there. To know anything about a polka band would be, that's tough. Question 9. Why has Old Man Marley never met his granddaughter?
Tony.
Yes.
Family friction.
I'll accept it. He's estranged from the sun. All right. So this last question decides it. It's 3-3. Question 10. What does Kevin ask Santa Claus, the Santa Claus impersonator for?
Dustin.
Yes.
To have his family back.
That is correct. 4-3. Justin takes it. He is going to get the opportunity to choose between, once again, these 3 predetermined genres to pitch with. Dystopian film, a martial arts film, or a body horror film.
All right. So if you know me, you might know where I'm leading. I'm going to go.
Oh, I do.
I'm going to go with body horror.
Oh, man. God, I can't wait to hear this one. I was kind of hoping for this one. Actually, I was kind of hoping for martial arts, because anytime you do a martial arts version of something, it's gonna be stupid. But body horror, Dustin's going body horror. So now these are the 2 options Tony has. He can either turn it into a vampire film or a war film.
Oh my goodness, Home Alone is a war movie in its own. So I think I might actually go war.
Okay, I'm surprised actually. I'm kind of glad you went there, because this could get kind of wacky. We could go to anywhere. We can go to any war at any time period. Let's see. All right, so we're gonna start with Dustin, since he got the predetermined pick. He's gonna pitch to us his body horror version of Home Alone. Go for it, man.
All right. So yeah, the first part of this, it might be sound a little familiar, but stick with me. So 8-year-old Kevin McAllister loves Christmas. He loves it so much, and his parents don't. And because they're always going away every year on vacation, they never put up decorations. It's just like, it just bothers Kevin so much. On top of all that, he feels mistreated by them. His mother calls him names whenever he does anything wrong. He gets in trouble at school for drawing violent pictures in class, and she calls him stupid and disgusting, and she's mad at his father because he just stands by and lets her do it and never actually sticks up for him. His siblings are just terrible towards him, and they're always taunting him about Old Man Marley, who is supposedly the South Bend shovel slayer serial killer. And so anyway, basically that night he gets into a fight with his mom, tells them that he never wants to see them again. He doesn't want to have a family. Next morning, wakes up and everybody's just vanished. Nobody's there, and he loves it. He's eating junk food. He's watching Silent Night, Deadly Night on TV. All the awful holiday horror movies that he can. And meanwhile, he is noticing that there's a van outside that keeps watching the house. So the occupants of that van are Harriet and Marv, who are a married couple. They've recently been laid off from their job at the company that Kevin's father works for. And they basically they're about to lose their home if they don't get money quick, and they want revenge from him. And they know that he always goes away on holiday, so the house is empty. But they do notice Kevin coming and going. And basically the twist of the story where things really turn is basically Kevin's onto them, and they go to the house to see it. They see what looks like a party happening behind the curtains. And what we finally discover as the viewer is that he's using the dead bodies of his family members on strings, acting as if they're partying and having a great time. Kevin has killed his entire family, all of his relatives, everyone. Whoa. He's decorated the house with their organs. He's created a tree with intestines trimmed around it. He's got eyes and ears as ornaments. He's got scalped hair for tinsel. He's got the angel topper is his mom's decapitated head with the Christmas lights in her mouth, and she's frozen in a Scream image with her hands glued to the side of her face. And we basically realize, that Kevin is completely a psychopath and did this as revenge for them. It basically all boils down to this fight for survival as Harriet and Marv break into the house. He once again is using their body parts against them as weapons. So instead of like throwing a paint can down the stair at them, he's throwing his brother Buzz's head down on a string at them. He has shaved like splintered bones into nails that they step on. He's created ribs that are on doors that come and basically stab their chests. And finally, he ends up killing them both with Uncle Frank's leg.
Wow.
And the end of the film, it all comes together. He basically calls his neighbor, who's Old Man Marley, to come save him. He's basically all bloody. He's injured himself intentionally to look like he's the survivor, and calls the police. And when Old Man Marley comes over and touches him to help him, gets blood all over him, the police come, assume that he really is, as the legend always said, was the serial killer, was the shovel slayer. And as he's taken away in handcuffs and Kevin is on the stretcher, he basically looks back at him and Kevin smiles and waves at him.
Such a sweet Christmas movie. All right. What a pitch. That was a very detailed pitch. Tony, what were you going to say?
I'm just saying I'm very impressed. It beats this for sure.
Wow. That's a high mark for Tony, who watches that every year. So let's go see what the judges think. We'll see you guys in a second. All right. Andrew, RJ, let's start with RJ. It seems like he might have watched the Ed Gein show that just recently came out. Like he wanted this whole house to be filled with body parts. What did you think? What did you think of this pitch?
I'm a little worried for Andrew.
Andrew.
Yeah, I'm worried for Andrew, dude. It was a very graphic depiction. I'm starting to think he's having ideas that he shouldn't be having.
You mean Dustin? You mean Dustin?
Yeah.
You said Andrew.
Oh, yes, I apologize. It was Dustin. I'm sorry, Andrew. I'm scared for you too, Andrew, but
yeah,
scared for you as well.
No, I'm a tough critic on body horror, man, because I really like body horror. And when I think of body horror, I don't know that I think of what he described, which is a tough sell. It sounded like I was pitched Terrifier Christmas special more than I was pitched a body horror film. In essence, I like the pitch that he did, but I don't necessarily know that it fit with the genre that he was pitching it for.
Gotcha.
It definitely felt like more of a slasher film than a body horror film. And that's kind of my biggest kind of gripe so far. Even though I really did like the pitch, it's very much being held back by the genre that he's pitching it under.
No, I think I can see where you're coming from. I was thinking that a little bit too. I was thinking, when I think of body horror, I think of where the body. It's typically something when you're thinking of like The Fly or something, something where there's like an actual metamorphosis or there's some kind of like The Thing is even kind of body horror. Like where there's like a little bit of a mutation or something. This show. But I mean, it's the thing about subgenres is they are pretty, that genre, that subgenre is kind of wide open to a lot of different things. I think of something like Dead Alive or something like that, where it's very graphic. You could put that kind of in a body horror section. So I think I think I'm with you. I get it. It still kind of fits. I mean, I think I'm with you. I kind of go the route you're going when I think of body horror, but I still think it's still under the umbrella enough to to work.
In my opinion, I'm kind of along the same lines in terms of my like definitions in terms of genres and subgenres. I think it's all very loose to me in my perspective, where especially horror is such a mishmash, and the lines go over each other so much when it comes to different genres and the meshing of genres and all that kind of stuff. But Stephen, what's interesting is when you mentioned body horror, I was thinking along the same lines. I was thinking of David Cronenberg's work. I was thinking of Videodrome, The Fly, you know, the Brood. I was thinking of all those types of like body transformation movies, squeamish movies, all that kind of stuff. But then when you kind of think about almost like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is the vibes I got from this, specifically with the body parts being strewn apart. If you've ever seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you go into that house and there's bones everywhere. You know what I mean?
It's about the relationship to like how the body parts are being used.
And that's the thing that definitely connected with me, is that at some point we could see Kevin manufacturing all of this, which would be incredibly gruesome. And it is dealing with bodies, and it is dealing with literally the changing of bodies to weapons, if you will, and in doing all of that. I do like this idea of like this full big picture, because it became initially early on, I'm like, oh, Dustin, you're staying pretty close to the original movie.
He told us, he was like, look, stay with me.
Stay with them. And we did. And it kind of paid off in that regard, because he took a hard left turn. And I like how this movie would do that. Like at the beginning, it's like it would have been like
it's fucking Home Alone again.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's Home Alone again. When is there going to be a twist happening? What is it? All of a sudden, boom, revelation.
Yeah,
it's an M. Night Shyamalan twist, the Hitchcockian twist in the middle of the movie, a la Psycho, which was also based off of Ed Gein, as well as Texas Chainsaw. So it's like it's all of these kind of homages to the past, which I really, really liked. And I also like the fact that at the end of all this, Kevin is manipulating everything, utilizing the fact that he is this quote unquote innocent child who is the victim of all of this. And that's how he's going to play off his grand master plan. I like the idea that perhaps at one point, these burglars become our protagonists. Like we start rooting for them because they have to survive.
It makes me think of a recent film, Abigail.
Yeah, it does make me think of that.
Where bad people go into a place and then like the vampire girl kills them all.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Yeah. Well, come on, guys. See the preview. It's obviously a vampire girl.
Exactly. But I'm just saying that is an interesting twist, and kind of shifts the whole thing on top of its head. So I liked all the elements we got.
All right. Well, I think we all pretty much like the pitch. To varying degrees, but let's go see what Tony's got for us. He's going to do this war pitch. So see you guys in a minute. All right, Tony. Well, it's now your turn to pitch us the war version of Home Alone. I can't wait to hear it.
Oh Lord, this is going to be a fun one. Okay, set in 19. I don't know if it's either Gulf War or whatever. I'll just make this up. Oh, of course it is. Set in the Gulf War in the USA. Okay. Kevin's home, instead of a home, it's actually an army barracks, which his whole family, including his mother, is soldiers. But the difference is Kevin is the black sheep of the family. He's literally the one who's basically physically and verbally and psychologically abused by the family. No one gives a shit about him. No one cares. And all they want to do is just basically, if they need to sacrifice someone, Kevin is the only choice. But then when it's time for Christmas, Kevin's family decides they just abandon him into the barracks and they go away and they do their own thing.
So are they? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but are they living on an army base?
Yes.
Yeah, so they have a place, like a house.
And
yes. All the rest of the family's like of age to be in the army or in the whatever, and he's the youngest one, and he isn't, like allowed to be in the army. I'm guessing.
Basically, yes, but the only way he can be involved in the army is if he's the sacrificial person to everyone. But that's it.
Gotcha.
And yeah. When the family decide to abandon Kevin to celebrate Christmas without him, Harry and Marv turned out to be previous soldiers of Kevin's father's, who was the lieutenant, and they vowed revenge on his father, but little did they know the only way they could do proper revenge is to, torture family members, but they didn't know family is not there. But little Kevin is, and they thought that perfect opportunity to kill or maim their youngest son, which of course would backfire because the family didn't care about it. But what happens is, what they don't know is that Kevin is a highly trained military assassin. But he was not trained by their family. He was trained by the one and only old man, Lieutenant Marley. And but Kevin has a very unique way of murder. Self-defense. Instead of sometimes regular bullets, he also uses barbed wire weaponry, and also as well as what else? Yeah, every type of weapon, bombs, grenades, but the grenades are full of sharp objects that will literally obliterate anybody who goes near them. And then yeah, Harry and Marv just realize, oh, it's just a fluke. It's the whole family. They didn't realize it was just the one kid, and the one kid just literally kills them and saves the army barracks. But when the family come back home, instead of praising Kevin for their heroics, they blame Kevin they accuse Kevin of treason, and they decide to murder him for Christmas. That's their Christmas family. That's their Christmas treat for everybody. So that's my war genre, my twisted war genre of Home Alone.
That is a twisted. That's twisted. I don't know. This is almost an alternate reality. I'm going to see what the other guys think. I'm interested to see what they think about it. Sometimes when we have these discussions about your pitches, we pull more out of them. So let's go see what the guys are thinking. So, we got a very interesting pitch. Now, it's always, we know whenever it's the person that has to pitch for the mystery picks, it can sometimes be a little bit as less focused, obviously. So Tony's, he's trying to figure out sometimes you're trying to figure out what you have as you're talking. But I think, so at first I was like, I had to ask him like a little bit more questions about like, to figure out where this thing, and try to figure out where this thing took place and get a visual for it in my mind. But I think by the end of it, we definitely got more of an idea of what this is. And it's this twisted alternate reality of a family that lives on an army base during a war, and how that war twisted their family into murderous ways. Andrew, like, did you figure something out through this pitch?
Yeah, obviously it's always tough to kind of pitch things off the riff, off the cuff, sure, and just make things up in the moment. And so that's always kind of, I have that in the back of my mind every time we do one of these mutations. And I was interesting when it started out, when he said the Gulf War, I was like, oh, that's an interesting war to kind of go with. Gulf War I. I honestly thought he may have gone, because the old reliable war is World War II,
sure.
Vietnam is another one for trauma and whatnot, and things like that. But then I was like, it's a movie. It's fictitious. It could be an alternate version of any war, really.
That's the thing. And that's why I say alternate, because and maybe this would be something that he would have changed if he thought about it. But he said it takes place in the U.S. Now, if it's the Gulf War and it's in the U.S., nothing's going on here.
Right. That was one thing that kind of I kind of set that aside, because then when he started kind of explaining this idea of this family being uber militaristic, that seemed to be the idea, that they're uber militaristic. I guess maybe it's a family that constantly enlists in the armed forces. Every single generation does it. Perhaps there's a whole history there that wasn't really explored, where it goes back, a century ago or longer. And then that would explain why this family is so kind of crazy, if you will.
I was gonna say, they do sound like they're almost like a cult,
like almost cultish, slavish to this idea of military masculinity and all this kind of stuff, and everybody's got to be in the army in some way. And then it would make sense that this child in Kevin would probably have been started military-esque training on a super high level when he was very young. That would make a lot of sense. So so he's not a normal 8 to 10-year-old kid. He's someone who is obviously trained to kill. And I like the fact that he's almost like a child Rambo, like a kid Rambo.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking Rambo too when he was talking about it.
I'm very much thinking Rambo. And I like this idea that even though he utilizes his skills and is done, he is what they made him to be.
Yeah.
It still like negatively affects him in the end, which is, if you've seen Rambo, kind of what happens.
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole moral story of that movie and of that story. That they are what they made him, and then they still try to stop him. But I don't know. I like it. RJ, what are you thinking? I see the things moving there.
Yeah, it's moving. It's hard to say it, but I feel like we gotta just kind of figure out which idea we like more, because both these genres don't really fit with the pitches that we've been given, unfortunately.
Well, that's my favorite part.
When I think war movie, I'm thinking, Saving Private Ryan. I'm thinking Hacksaw Ridge.
Sure.
I'm thinking Band of Brothers, which is a TV show, to be fair. But I'm thinking war. And you could even pull back from that and do movies that take place during a war that aren't necessarily in conflict. And the Gulf War would have been a very interesting example of that, continuing to be set in the United States. But I feel like from that point, we kind of lost the plot. We kind of lost where we were going with that, and it turned into an action hero movie. And I'm okay with that. That's fine. It's if
you've seen Rambo 2, that's
Rambo 2 is not a war movie. Rambo 2 is an action movie.
Get off the mic. Jesus Christ.
I apologize.
Just blew everybody's ears out. But that's what I'm saying. It's not a war movie. It's it really becomes they go further away from war movies, and that's what I'm saying. But yeah, no, I see what you're saying. There are movies like Zone of Interest that have nothing to do, that they're not in a war, but they're like war movies. They're about things that happen during war. So I think that's where this plays at somewhat, and then it does turn into like a war between him and his family. And at the same, that's the thing.
I like that third act a lot. I would like that third act a lot.
That's the thing. I'm just thinking about it, and this is what I'm talking about. Like sometimes there's a pitch that's a little sloppy, and usually they're the mystery picks. They're a little sloppy. They're hard to get out of it what they're trying to say, or maybe they didn't say everything they were thinking. But like you can pull something from this. He's at war with. There's obviously like a political side to this that you could talk about. There's the fact that he's fighting his own family. He's the black sheep of the family, and he's fighting his own family. And at the end, he's persecuted for being different and being, and there's a lot there. So I think sometimes we have to, in a way, as judges, we have to pull some of that out, and we have to decide on if there's enough potential there that makes it better than the other pitch. This is tough for me. I got to get your decisions first because I break the ties. But Andrew, where are you falling at?
So, yeah, like you're saying, obviously the first pitch being more readily available, more complete, is both a good and bad thing to me, because we already have the full picture of what that movie could be. Right now, we're kind of doing window dressing for like director and casting, which I guess could shape it a little bit more.
Yeah, the fact that we have change it up a little bit. Sure.
Yeah, the fact that we have a more clear picture is, like I said, it's a plus and a minus, because you don't have much wiggle room to change things, I guess, at this point, plot wise.
Sure.
Whereas the war movie is still so raw, it's still so movable in terms of parts you can manipulate and change and do things like that.
Yeah.
Part of me likes it for that aspect. So I think I may go with the war movie plot, just because I feel like there's more for us to play with the subsequent rounds, because this is only still the first round.
Sure. All right. I respect that. RJ, where are you falling?
So talked a big game in round one. or not round one, but the first first pitch, saying that it wasn't body horror and I didn't love it. But I remember that there was, I don't know if you guys know this, there was a conspiracy theory about Home Alone, that
Yeah, I was
Home
thinking
Alone 1
about
and
that.
2 were prequels to the the Saw films.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that, like, as we were doing this kind of follow up with the war pitch, and I was like, you know what? I'm way more open to this first idea now that I'm like, maybe that bias kind of just knocked me over the head, but something about that idea is just, I'm willing to give it a go. So body horror is getting my vote for this round.
Okay. All right. So now I got to break something here. I don't know, man. I am game. I'm with. I see both sides. I mean, like I see. I'm with Andrew. Like I think that there is still. With Tony's pitch, there's a lot more room to still mess around. There's a lot more messing around to go with this. And Dustin's pitch is pretty clear. We got it. We know what we have to work with moving forward, and we can still mess with it a lot, depending on where we go with cast and director. So this is tough. I'm with you, Andrew. Like I think that would be a fascinating way to go down, but I think I am going to go with Dustin's pitch because it gives us a clearer picture. And I want to see what this cast is going to look like. And the director can change this a little bit. We can definitely start to get some different vibes through that way. So, we're going to go with Dustin. So we're going body horror, moving forward. All right, guys, we'll see you in a little bit. All right, guys. So that's it. Tony, it was a great pitch, man, but, it was close. I loved it. But Andrew obviously really liked it. But
I think especially considering you only had like 5 minutes to think about it,
exactly.
I thought it was great.
And that's the thing is that, like as judges, we do got to help. That I think that's part of our job, because that having improv skills is not easy. And when you have to come up with something like that, we do have to help them pull the ideas out that they might not have exactly said. And I think you were close to something really cool, but I think Dustin's got a little bit more of a complete pitch there. And we're just going to move forward with body horror. So that is it for round one. It goes to Dustin. And so now we're going into round two, which is our director's round. Once again, these guys are going to get a round of trivia, this time more elaborate. They got 3 different categories to pull from with 3 questions each, and it's 1, 2, and 3 points of each. And you have bylines beware, which is they get a negative review of one of the director of Home Alone's films, which is Chris Columbus. You get a negative review of one of his films, and they have to, through context clues, figure out which film I'm talking about. You have Through a Viewfinder Darkly, where I give them an image with a quote from one of Chris Columbus's films, and they have to figure out which movie I'm talking about. And then the last category is director cuts, which is simply a factoid about Chris Columbus, and they have to figure out whether it's true or false. Okay. So, guys, are you whoever has the most points at the end of that round will get to choose from these predetermined directors. We have John Carpenter, Anton Fuqua, and Steven Soderbergh. So, and then of course the loser once again will have 2 mystery picks. Are you guys ready to get into round 2 trivia?
Yep, let's go.
Hey.
Do it. Dustin, you won round 1, so you get the choice of which category you want to start with.
Okay. I'll do bylines 1 point.
All right. Bylines beware for 1 point. Both of you can buzz in at any time with your name to answer the question. For 1 point. A film about video games for people who hate video games.
Tony.
Pixels. Pixels is correct. All right, Tony, where would you like to go next?
I'll do bylines for
2.
For 2.
All right. For 2 points. Quickly forgettable romantic comedy Not even the promising pairing of Grant and Moore can salvage it.
Dustin.
Tony.
Dustin?
9 months.
9 months is correct. Dustin's got 2 points. And where would you like to go next, Dustin?
We'll do 3 points for that bylines.
All right. Mean-spirited and coarse with a shallow girl at the hollow heart. It's super bad without the super.
Dustin.
Dustin?
I Love You, Beth Cooper.
I Love You, Beth Cooper is correct.
Which I must say, I actually really like that movie.
He does not agree with Neil Smith. Does not agree with him. All right, Dustin. So now we've gone through Bylines Beware. Would you like to do Through a Viewfinder Darkly or Director Cuts?
Let's do Director Cuts. 3 points.
All right, Director Cuts for 3 points. He's going straight for the threes. True or false? Considered directing Spider-Man 2002, but did Harry Potter and Sorcerer's Stone instead.
Tony.
Oh. Tony?
False.
It's actually true.
Damn.
Yeah. So that 3-pointer goes to...
And I accidentally buzzed in with false rather than my name.
Wow. All right. So where would you like to go next, Dustin?
We'll do 2 points for Director's Cuts.
All right. Chris Columbus is a big James Bond fan and was one of the people that suggested Daniel Craig to the producers.
Tony.
Yes.
True.
It's actually false.
Oh man.
He is a big fan, but he was the one that suggested Pierce Brosnan for his role in James Bond. So we're actually getting kind of running away here, Tony. Come on, man. All right. Would you like to go to 1?
Yeah.
1 point?
Yeah.
All right. He wrote a rejected script for Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, in which Indy traveled to Africa and dueled a monkey prince.
Dustin.
Yes.
False.
It's actually true. And it was very much a reason. There's a reason why it was rejected, because it was very racist. All right. So that brings Tony up to 2 points to 10 points to Dustin. I think there might see 3, 4, 5. There's still a chance, I think, to maybe 3. No, there is no chance to win.
That's okay.
So, because you only can get up to 6 points more, and that isn't enough to overtake the 10 points that you need.
Yeah, I do have to say one thing though, because I'm in Australia. The time delay is a little. I'm not using it as an excuse.
No, it's okay.
But the time delay, because to me, I said it first, but then Dustin said it like a second later. But I know it's different, so I'm not blaming.
I apologize that happens.
It's not your fault. It's all good.
Yeah, but all right. Well, Dustin has overwhelmed you in the trivia, so he's going to go ahead and pick from the once again predetermined directors, which are John Carpenter and Anton Fuqua and Steven Soderbergh. Which ones do you want to pick?
I feel like the obvious choice when you think about it for a horror movie would be John Carpenter. However, if it's modern day John Carpenter, he really has no interest in directing, so I feel like he'd phone it in. So
it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be.
In my mind, it's modern. So I'm going with Steven Soderbergh.
All right, Steven Soderbergh. These are your 2 mystery choices, Tony. You either have Ryan Coogler or Wes Anderson.
Oh, interesting choices for body horror there. I think I am going to have to go with Coogler.
Oh, man, I was really hoping for Wes Anderson. All right. Ryan Coogler. All right, so we'll give him a second to think about his choice, and we're going to start with Dustin, who's going to pitch us the Steven Soderbergh directed body horror version of Home Alone. Go for it, man.
All right, so yeah, with Steven Soderbergh, he's one of those directors who you can't really get a handle on what kind of filmmaker he is because every single movie is different from the last one. And so I was thinking about some of his filmography and which ones could potentially, when blended together, highlight that he would be perfect for doing this body horror version of Home Alone. So I was thinking of something like King of the Hill, which, if you've seen that movie, it's about this kid who is basically left to live on his own when his mom, she's sick, and I think she's taken to like a mental institution to stay, and his dad's always away on work. And so there's that part of it where, he's home alone, basically. And then with something like Contagion, I think, a movie like that, which is about this deadly pandemic, I feel like he just added such tension and such really like a brutality to it. Like, he really didn't shy away from what happens, when somebody is infected, with a deadly virus like that. And then finally, I was also thinking of a recent movie, Presence, which, again, that movie, it sort of takes on the POV of a ghost in this house. And so I was just thinking, like, so, that does fall a little bit closer into the horror genre, and it does a really good job of creating just this atmosphere and tension. And at the same time, it focuses on mental health and also alienation, which I would think with this version of Home Alone, I think it would dive, even in my earlier pitch, I didn't really have time to mention it, but I feel like it really would be very, even though it is gruesome, I also feel like it would be very psychological and really dive into Kevin's sort of fractured, sick mind and what he's doing and all of that stuff. And then also with Marv and Harriet, it would sort of touch on things about, like the job market today and people being laid off and things like that. So it would have that aspect to it as well that I feel like somebody like Soderbergh could really dive into. So all in all, I just think, yeah, he would be fantastic to do something like this.
All right. Well, I love Steven Soderbergh, so let's see what else. Let's see what the guys think of Steven Soderbergh. Let's go talk to him. All right. RJ, Andrew, Steven Soderbergh, he, like, as explained by Dustin, a very varied director. He's done a lot of stuff, a lot of different films over time, and he did pick up some good films. King of the Hill, and Presence, and he's definitely a director, I think, that is very talented, that could probably do about anything he wanted to do. But it's just about, I think the one thing about Soderbergh is I don't know that he's necessarily done anything that's went quite as extreme as this pitch. We're talking about something where there's body parts and there's blood and there's, I know Contagion's about a virus, but it's not quite on the level of body horror. So, Andrew,
yeah.
where do you
so
think?
The only thing that comes to mind for me that is close to that, and that is actually the show The Nick that he did.
Yeah, The Nick, yeah.
Which is dealing similarly in that vein. And it's, that's the only thing I can think of. But kind of like what Dustin said, Steven Soderbergh is kind of a jack of all trades. I mean, he's worked in every genre pretty much. He's done action, he's done spy, he's done heist movie, he's done dramas, he's done indie films, he's done larger budget movies, he's worked with ensemble casts, he's worked with small casts. He's kind of done it all. So the fact that he would want to tackle this type of subgenre of the horror slasher body horror oeuvre, if you will, I wouldn't have any cause for pause over him being able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
He's also a very good visual filmmaker as well. Yeah, he's actually been one of my favorites for a very, very long time. And yeah, he's done so many movies. He's done so many movies. So I like that idea. I mean,
and he was supposed to retire.
He technically did for like I don't know, a little while there, and then he was like, screw it, I'm back.
I'll just do cinematography.
Yeah. Like I think what was it, after Side Effects or Behind the Candelabra, he said that he was gonna retire or something like that.
Yeah.
And then he ended up coming back very quickly with Logan Lucky, like 3 or 4 years later. I mean, it was very short time. And then since then he's gone back and done a bunch of different things. He's done stuff on streaming. He's done stuff theatrically. I mean, like I said, he's a man. He's a man who does it all.
He's known for doing things in different formats too. Like he likes to push himself when it comes to like how he shoots things.
And when I met Jack of all trades, I also meant like I think at this point he shoots, directs, and edits all of his movies at this point. Yeah. So he kind of does it all.
Yeah. RJ. Familiar with Steven Soderbergh's work, and are you a fan? What are you thinking about this pitch?
I wouldn't necessarily say that I am a fan. I like the Oceans movies. I think they're very good. I'm going to be honest when I say I haven't seen a lot of the other work that he's done. Looking through his category, or not his category, excuse me, his
catalog.
Thank you. And that's not necessarily a bad thing for me. But Tony has the ability to win me over with one sentence. And if he doesn't say it, it's going to be a harder conversation, I don't want to give it to him. I don't want to tell him what's going to win me over, but he has the ability to get me with one sentence. So right now I'm like playing it off. I believe I want to kind of look a little bit more into what Steven can do. I know you mentioned the show, The Nick. I want to see kind of, maybe I can find some screenshots of some body horror that may or may not be in that show. Get some looks, because at the end of the day, I need to see some inspiration for something like this.
Yeah. So sometimes we're not, even every once in a while I get, especially Johnny, when he plays this game, he'll say actors that I've never heard of. And then I have to do a quick search and I'm like, oh, that's the guy. Yeah. So, sometimes we're not quite informed, and sometimes that informs our decisions, but we'll go see what Tony has to say and see if that helps. All right. See you in a second. All right, Tony. So that was Dustin's pitch. He had an interesting pitch for Soderbergh. So now it's your turn to tell us why Ryan Coogler is a better choice to direct this body horror version of Home Alone. Go for it, man.
With the success of Sinners, of course, Ryan Coogler has a unique vision to horror, because we all know him as great dramatic director, as well as has done some good action. But his unique style of violence and his unique style of character for Home Alone, the body horror version, it would work. That's probably one of the reasons why his first horror film was a success. And with Sinners, he may succeed into doing something that has not been done before for a body horror version of which involves a kid as a main as a hero or an anti-hero, whatever. And his characters could be, you can either make Harry and Marv, I believe you can make them sympathetic, which he has done with other villainous roles, which you understand their perspective towards the back, which was not shown previously in Home Alone, in my opinion. But he can pull it off and make a body horror film to be to make you feel sympathy for some villains but create unique violence in a way. He has a unique creative violence style. So yeah, kills can be his vision of kills can be different, but it'll be stylish and visually stunning, to say the least. So that's my pitch. I don't know. That's it.
All right, Ryan Coogler. Let's see what the guys are thinking. So, Ryan, did the right sentence come out of Tony's mouth, RJ?
It didn't.
No.
It didn't. But So I'm just gonna say it. I gotta say it. Ryan Coogler is a really big fan of anime and manga. A lot of the fight scenes in Creed, especially Creed 3, were based on Dragon Ball. And I think that's really cool. But I also think that looking at Japanese film and media, they are like experts at body horror. Like when they do body horror, it's like insane, disgusting, gross, all over the place, nasty. And I think if we get Ryan Coogler in here and we lay down some Junji Ito, we have him watch Tetsuo the Iron Man, and we're just like, I want this and this, and just like do your thing, go crazy. I think he would make it absolutely disgusting, phenomenal, gross. Just, I think he could do it without a question in my mind.
Okay. Andrew, I think one of the things that Tony was getting at, talking about, sympathetic villains, and I think he didn't quite say it, but I think it was there. Like you think about something like Black Panther, where of course Michael B. Jordan plays the bad guy in that, and he's doing things for a cause, and you want to like him, but he's still the bad guy, of the story. And I think there is something there. I mean, I do think that I think with this version of the movie, the Harriet and Marv are definitely like, they're almost not even bad guys in the story. They sound like they're very much.
It sounds like they're victims of circumstance. Or,
I mean, obviously they're trying to rob the house, so they're not doing something nice. But by the time they go in there and see the room full of body parts, I'm sure they were trying to get out of there pretty quickly.
Yeah, what is interesting is that Dustin talked about it in his initial pitch, this idea that they are essentially jilted workers who used to work for Kevin's father, who I'm assuming is, if he's a big time owner of a corporation or a big time owner of a company, that, they're very, very wealthy. I mean, there's a whole adage about the original film where like Kevin's father must be incredibly wealthy to live in the house that they live in and going to Paris for Christmas.
I mean, his mom too. I mean, she must.
Right.
They both must have a lot.
They both must be very, very wealthy in terms of like they'd be able to live in like essentially what I assume are the Chicago suburbs in a gigantic home and going to Paris. And I believe the whole thing is that he's paying for the whole family to go to Paris.
Yeah.
And that's a whole big thing. But in this pitch with Dustin is the fact that, hey, he is this uber rich guy, and these people are perhaps just like, these minimum wage workers who lose their job during the holidays of all times. And now they want to get their revenge on him by robbing his house. But they end up like falling into like a Saw type scenario of traps and bones and body parts and et cetera, with this psychotic Kevin McAllister Ed Gein kid. And when we're getting to this idea of who's going to be the director for this, Ryan Coogler is not exactly a bad choice because he could possibly do this. I mean, we just saw him do horror with Sinners, and we've seen him work in a multiple genre layered situations with his Black Panther films, where yes, they are traditionally superhero films, but he's layering so many themes and so many things about culture and things like that within those films. Fruitvale Station, which was his first film, of course, is heaped in modern themes about racism and police brutality and all kinds of stuff. And yeah, he's definitely a politically conscious person, and there is a political theme that's kind of at the root of this movie, buried in between all the body horror. It's interesting that RJ brings up the third Creed film, which I do have to point out for our viewers at home was not directed by Ryan Coogler, so that's kind of a little tough one there. Just because of this idea that
wrong.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring it up because I hate correcting.
No, you should.
People.
You should correct him.
But RJ,
you should have.
The third movie was directed by
Staple Jr. or something.
No, Staple Jr. did the second one.
Oh no, yeah, he did the second one.
The third one was Michael B. Jordan who directed, and he's the one who brought in all of the Japanese anime influences. So that, like, while that would have been interesting, it also is not 100%. Correct. I hate to be the asshole to correct people because it's actually,
I appreciate you correcting me. So I was under the impression it was Coogler.
At most, maybe producer credit because he had a producer credit.
I believe he was a producer credit. I believe you're right. So that was, man.
The idea that the Japanese,
I look so stupid right now.
Yeah, no, not at all. People, whatever. But the idea, but you were correct in everything you were saying. Japanese do body horror very, very well. Specifically, their anime pushes it beyond the limits, even with their horror films that we've talked about several times. Things like anything by Takeshi Miike is pretty graphic. That whole kind of Eastern European block of movies is incredibly graphic in physical horror and stuff like that. Body horror, really.
Unfortunately, we can't confirm whether that's an influence of Coogler or not.
That's the whole thing. Is that I don't know if Coogler would necessarily bring that to this type of movie because he hasn't really done that before.
We have to go off of what he's directed already. So, he's obviously got a visual flair. He's done different types of action films with the Black Panther films, and even the action he does in the Creed films. And Sinners, and then this psychological aspect to the movie. He very much has delved into all different interesting psychological things in all his films. So he's definitely a filmmaker prepared to do this type of work. I think it comes down, when it comes to these two directors we have to choose between, it's about which style do you want. You want a more flamboyant style. I think you'll get with Ryan Coogler, something a little bit more colorful, something a little bit more hip in your face, versus I think Soderbergh, who I think, though he's a filmmaker that's curious and tries a lot of different things. I don't know that he necessarily, does he have like a distinct style? Is he changing himself? Is he such a chameleon that he changes himself so much that he doesn't really have a distinct style? I think that's maybe safe to say. But so we have to decide on which way we want to go. RJ, where are you falling?
Well, unfortunately, I got myself all hyped up for nothing.
It's okay, man.
I got myself excited, but I am going to stick with Ryan Coogler. One, because I gave Tony false hope, and two, because I think the gore in Sinners was much better, in my opinion, than some of the gore that I saw through doing a little bit of research on the Knicks. I just
it's also you're more informed on his career other than Soderbergh.
Yeah,
so for you,
definitely,
it's a smaller sample size for Ryan Coogler, so it's more defined. It really is. I mean, for me, I'm gonna go with Steven Soderbergh just because I feel like he can do it all. That's what I'm going with, because I feel like he could definitely pinpoint that, and he could add a little extra indie vibe to a lot of his movies that is present.
Sure.
And I kind of want that vibe.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's going to come down to what we're searching for, vibe, genre, like flavor wise, when it comes to like the interpretation of the violence and the interpretation of the psychological elements. Like
when I'm thinking Coogler, I'm thinking of more of a grand scale, because Sinners is on a grand scale. I'm thinking those IMAX cameras, whereas opposed to this type of Home Alone movies, like all set inside this house of horrors. And I feel like Soderbergh has the house of horrors.
I think so.
Central vibe to it.
I can't not agree with that for sure. He's also done big movies, though. He's done your Ocean's films, so they can both, I think, do intimate movies. I don't think that's a concern. My concern lies with just how I want that all to look, and which filmmaker I think is going to bring us like a more distinct vision. And I think Ryan Coogler might give us a more exciting vision of this movie. And because he hasn't, I mean, I know this sounds like a negative, but because he hasn't done as much, there's not as much of a predictability to what he might do. We just know that most of his films have been pretty exciting so far visually. And so I think I would like to really see what he would do with something this kind of gross. Taking it past Sinners and doing something even more sadistic and gross. And obviously this is going to influence our cast as well in an interesting direction. So I think I want to definitely see what his Coogler's film with a cast is too. So I'm going Ryan Coogler, and I think we're going Tony's pick on this one. So thanks, guys. Let's see you in the next round. Ryan Coogler won.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
What a surprise. Okay.
Well, we decided that I broke it, and I decided that I wanted to see what I like Ryan Coogler's distinct vision more than I like what Soderbergh brings. They're both fantastic filmmakers, of course, but I would be very much excited not only for his visual style, but what his cast would probably be. Because that's looking forward a little bit too. So right now, both of you have won one round apiece, and now we go into round 3, which is our cast round. You guys will get 4 different characters to recast. One of them's a mystery character, so that'll be revealed at the end. But these guys will once again go through trivia based on the cast of the original Home Alone, and they will get 5 questions, and they will both be able to answer this with a whiteboard or piece of paper. And whoever has the most points at the end will get the opportunity. And this is what's different about the advantage in this round, is that they don't, there's no predetermined things like that. They get the opportunity to make their opponent pitch with an actor or actress of their choice. So if you get to Marv and Tony wins the trivia and says, "Hey, Dustin, I want you to pitch with, fucking Danny DeVito to be your Marv," then that's who he has to pitch with. A lot of times this backfires completely, and it ends up being help. So let's see what happens. Sometimes people don't even decide to use it because they're afraid it's going to backfire.
I have to say real quick, funnily enough, when I was prepping for this and I was looking at some of the Home Alone trivia, it actually did say that Danny DeVito was considered for Marv.
Hey, maybe I just subconsciously thought about that when I was looking through trivia. But yeah. So that is round 3. That's what we got at stake here. And whoever wins this round takes the lead into the final pitch. So you guys ready for some character trivia?
Okay.
Some cast trivia, I mean. All right. You guys got your whiteboards or your paper?
Yep.
All right.
Macaulay Culkin became the first child actor to ever receive $1 million for one film, and also in a supporting role. What was the film? All right. What do you got, Dustin? My girl is correct. No, Tony, what you get? What you get?
That's Uncle Buck. My bad.
Okay. Unfortunately, no. That's a good guess, though. All right. Question number 2. Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro are best friends. How many films have they appeared in together?
I'm ready.
All right. What you got, Tony?
5.
Incorrect. Dustin?
I said 6.
Close. The 7.
Oh.
The films they've appeared in together: Raging Bull, Once Upon a Time in America, Goodfellas, A Bronx Tale, Casino, The Good Shepherd, and The Irishman. So close.
Forgot about The Good Shepherd. He directed that as well. Yeah, I got that.
All right, Dustin still got 1 point. Here we go. Catherine O'Hara has appeared in 2 films that have been selected by the National Film Registry of Library of Congress as being culturally and historically aesthetically significant. One of them is Home Alone. What is the other?
Yeah. I'm done.
Yeah,
All right. What you got, Dustin?
Waiting for Guffman.
Incorrect. What you got, Tony?
Beetlejuice?
No.
Oh.
It is.
Was it Best in Show?
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, damn.
I was thinking of her appearing in it physically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did. That's what I thought
I know.
too.
That's why it's a tough one. All right. Still 1-0, Dustin. Here we go. Question 4. John Candy turned down 2 roles that would go on to be played by his friend, Rick Moranis. Name one of the films.
Okay.
All right. What you got, Dustin?
Ghostbusters?
His character Lewis in Ghostbusters is correct. That's one of them. What you got, Tony?
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
And that is the other. That's the other one. Both correct. All right. We are now to the last question. Tony, if you can get this, you can tie it, and you both get the advantage. So let's see how this goes. Question 5. Early in Daniel Stern's career, he appeared in 2 Woody Allen films. Name one of them. Right.
Okay.
All right. What you got, Tony?
Purple Rose of Cairo.
It's a good guess, but nope. Dustin, you got an answer for us?
This was a guess. I went with Annie Hall.
Incorrect. These are 2 deep cuts. I feel like they are. One of them is 1980s Stardust Memories, and 1986's Hannah and Her Sister.
Oh.
So, well, Dustin won 2-1 there, so he will get the advantage of potentially sticking Tony with a mystery of his own. But like I said, sometimes these backfire. All right, so the first character we're going to recast, of course, is our little sadistic serial killer, Kevin McAllister. So Dustin, tell us who you want to be your lead Kevin McAllister, directed by Ryan Coogler in this body horror version of Home Alone.
Okay, so I was thinking about this over the weekend, and I happened to be at the Middleburg Film Festival, and I have to go with somebody that you might not actually know who they are right now, but you are going to know them very soon.
Oh, geez.
And it is Jacoby Jupe, who plays the title role in Hamnet, which is the Chloe Zhao film that's coming out. That's one of the big Oscar contenders. He is phenomenal. Within seconds of being on the screen, I thought to myself, that's Kevin McAllister right there. He could play. He's very I don't know, he feels very wise beyond his years, but not in a sort of fake way. He's precocious, but not in an annoying way. And I think that he has I can't give it away because it's not even open yet, but based on what he plays in this film, it just runs the gamut from, he's funny, but he's also he has some huge dramatic moments that just absolutely break your heart. And he also has the ability, obviously, to play somebody who's truly twisted and evil, and just so yeah, I'm going out on a limb because it is somebody that you might not be familiar with right now. I will say his older brother is Noah Jupe, who was in the A Quiet Place films. He was the son in that, so, just to say that. But he's phenomenal, and I predict he's actually going to be getting some possible award nominations this year.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my choice.
That is a bold choice because it is kind of difficult when we haven't seen him really. I mean, he as judges, we got to have something to base it off. He's in a TV series called Before, and he was in the Peter Pan and Wendy movie. So he's got some other things, but it does make it a little difficult for us, Dustin. So we'll see what Tony has to say. What do you got as your Kevin McAllister, Tony?
My Kevin McAllister, I've got to say, is a television. He's mainly known for TV.
Okay.
And there was only one person I could think of. I was like you, Dustin, thinking about it over the weekend. My person to play Kevin McAllister is Ian Armitage from Young Sheldon.
Wow. Okay.
That's the only one I can think of that would be a perfect fit for Kevin McAllister.
Would he be like a younger version of himself, or like current version, as far as like a little bit like more of like a teenager?
Oh yeah, more of a teenager, more like a teenager. That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Say around 12, 13.
Okay.
Okay. So tell us why.
His character of Sheldon Cooper, obviously, his intellect is good, but he can kill, like he can basically assassinate anybody with his words, as well as his physical weaponry skills. But yeah, it seems the right fit because it's someone you think is basically helpless, but he's nowhere near helpless. He knows what he's doing. He's very tactical, very on point.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go see what the judges think. All right, guys. So we have. Remind me if any. Let's see. I got to go and get this first name again. Jacoby Jupe.
Yes, that is the name.
Jacoby Jupe versus Ian Armitage. Two lesser known choices, and it is tough because it is a child actor,
right?
So they are, unless you're going like hardcore, which of course is already our main actor. Macaulay Culkin's already one of the most well-known children actors, so that's already taken off the board. But looking at both of these kids, like, I mean, yeah, they both can act. Andrew, what you thinking?
Yeah, one is obviously more recognizable than the other, simply because of just their current output, because they're both so young. The Young Sheldon TV series ran for several seasons. It was a spin-off of a very highly rated, in terms of just eyeballs on the screen, in The Big Bang Theory. So obviously it's a little more pop there, a little more recognizability, and perhaps this could be an outlet for this young actor to do something completely different for the most part. And that would be something that would be interesting. But this is also kind of a performance, or a piece where it could be a star-making performance for a young actor. I'm thinking of, there's been several horror films where young actors can kind of, get notoriety, springboard their careers and whatnot. It's really, really tough. I mean, and if we're aging up the character, which is something I didn't even think about, so I'm still thinking of the 8-year-old original character. But if it's someone that's slightly older in the teenage realm, that changes things a little bit in a more interesting way. So I'm very curious about that.
All right, RJ, where are you leaning?
I feel like this is the toughest thing that we've had to discuss yet. I feel like one of the things that I think of when I think of child actors is hindsight is really a big contributing factor, in my opinion, to children actors. I mean, we can talk about Macaulay Culkin being like the greatest child actor of all time, or whatever we want to say about, or maybe the most recognizable, not greatest. That's not a fair statement, but most recognizable. That feels like a very hindsight thing. Like, oh yeah, he was in Home Alone and Home Alone 2, and he was in that one movie where he talks to the guy, and that other movie where he also talks to a guy. And it's like he's a very good actor.
What are these movies?
I don't know. He's in a lot of movies where he's just talking to guys. I don't know.
He was in, what was that one? The Good Son.
Remember the Page Master? I think it's kind of underrated.
See, my point stands. You guys named a movie each where he was talking to a guy.
What are you talking about? just explain yourself. Go ahead.
But honestly, I feel like knowing the ability of a child actor is easier when they've already kind of outgrown their age, in my opinion, and kind of from what I've seen. I don't really know about either of them. I think it's a hard choice to make. I am definitely leaning towards Mr. Sheldon for sure. I honestly already forgot his name because I can't see him as anybody other than
Ian
young Sheldon.
Armitage. Ian
Armitage. It's funny because I remember the lesser known name, which was Jacoby. Jacoby. I don't know. I forgot the last name, but I remember the first name, which was Jacoby. Jacoby Jube. And then Ian Armitage. I'm seeing Ian. I think he would be a more realistic casting in terms of getting somebody into on set and kind of just being like, hey, what's a popular child actor? I don't know that either of them would be the first actor that came to mind. First one for me was the kid who played in that movie with Ryan Reynolds where they go back in time to meet Mark Ruffalo. The Ian Project.
I know what the movie you're talking about, but I don't know.
So
unfortunately, I don't know kids' names off the top of my head.
Me either. It's probably for the best.
Yeah, probably.
But I'm gonna go with Ian Armitage. I think he would be a better pick just because I've seen him in more. I also think the internet would lose its mind at Sheldon Cooper decorating a house in bones.
I was gonna say I think people could probably it would be a hoot. You know, they'd be like, young Sheldon, a serial killer? I mean, where are you landing, Andrew?
That seems like free marketing to me. I mean, the biggest drawback, obviously, when it comes to Dustin's pick is it's a movie that really has only been playing at festivals.
His pick is a little uninformed.
That's the problem. Is like I do not doubt what Dustin is saying in terms of his evaluation of the performance. I just haven't seen it for myself, so I have nothing to base it on personally, other than what he says, which I of course trust. But I would go with the more recognizable name, in Ian Armitage.
Because I've seen some young Sheldon, I'm informed and I know what he becomes, and we can understand what that character is, what the ability of that actor is, and even if he brought that to this role, it would work.
The thing is, I haven't even seen young Sheldon other than television promos and whatnot. Yeah. But I have seen the show Big Little Lies, in which he is in that series, and that series is a dark streak in it. And that show was actually done by a couple of relatively prominent directors and whatnot. So, like, I know him from that more so, and that was a kind of a younger role for him. But yeah, it's like you're saying, Stephen. It's kind of tough to determine when you haven't seen one of the actors.
Yeah, so I think we're kind of unanimous. We're going for Ian Armitage for Kevin McAllister. So Tony gets this one. He doesn't know it yet because he can't hear us, but we'll tell him. All right, let's see you in a minute. All right, Tony. So you pulled it out with Ian Armitage. Justin, I'm sorry. It's just unfortunately not a lot of background to inform your choice, but we'll move forward here, see what you got. So we're going to go into recasting the Harry character, originally played by Joe Pesci. Tony, what you going to do?
I'm gonna choose to recast or give him an actor.
Hijinks.
Sabotage. I am dreading this because he killed me last time. Okay, go ahead.
Sabotage. All right, go ahead.
It might be easier. It's still going to put a little twist on it, but it might be easier. So, yeah, we've changed it from Harry to Harriet because it's
yes, you're right. You're right.
Couple. I'm going to give you Helen Mirren. Current Helen Mirren.
Current Helen Mirren. Okay.
He might have helped you. I don't know. We'll see.
It might work. I'll give me a minute. That's all right. Got this.
All right. So while he's thinking about that for a second, Dustin, what are you going to pitch with?
Okay, for me, I could really only think of one person. I just feel like they were so perfect for this, as far as the tone of the film and what they're capable of doing. And I'm going with Toni Collette.
Toni Collette. Ooh, I like it. Well, tell us why Toni Collette works.
So I think she's one of the best actresses working today. I feel like, well, first of all, she's a veteran of holiday horror because she did Krampus several years ago. And she also just brings such an intensity to her films. You think of something like Hereditary, which she was just mind-blowing in. At the same time, I do feel like she's very sympathetic, and so I think you need that for this character, because if Kevin is basically he's not really he's the main character, but he's not like a hero. He's not a protagonist as that is concerned anymore. So you can't really like him so much. And so you really need somebody to really follow and care about. And even though Harriet and Marv are robbing this house, I feel like they're doing it for a reason where they feel almost like, you know, they deserve what they're trying to get. Like they feel like they've really been jilted as far as losing their jobs and being laid off, and they see this house and of their boss, and so really you see that they're torn throughout the film. You see that they know it's not the right thing to do, but choosing to do it leads to just unimaginable horror once they walk through the door of the McAllister home. And I feel like Toni Collette is somebody who could just be powerful in the way that she faces all of the different emotions and yeah, grappling just emotionally with everything that's going on. I just feel yeah, she would just knock it out of the park. So
awesome. I like it. All right, Tony, you need to tell us what's, you were put with Helen Mirren. Okay. See if you come up with why Helen Mirren's the better pick.
With Helen Mirren, as you know, she is an iconic actress, and she is a very beautiful woman. But she also, I believe she can bring to Harriet the mentality that she is older and wiser and knows exactly what she's doing and thinks she's the brains of everything. But in reality, she is probably the worst planner ever. Like she thinks it's perfect, but in reality, it screws up everything, and everything backfires on their end. But also, her character is also a vain woman. Like in my opinion, Helen Mirren is one of the most beautiful women in the world. But she uses that to her advantage. She thinks that because she's old, she's elderly, and she thinks rather beautiful. She thinks that she's in the 30s and 20s and 30s and still looks beautiful. Then she can get away that kids can get she can get away with what's the word I'm looking for? She can get away with fooling Kevin McAllister, but in reality, Kevin is highly intelligent and knows what the hell's going on. But yeah, see, with Helen Mirren, I think she can play both intelligent and idiotic at the same time. It can work. She can do anything, that woman. And that's one of the reasons why I think Helen Mirren might be a good choice for Harriet.
Okay. All right, let's go see what the judges are thinking. All right, so you got Helen Mirren versus I'm blanking. What was
Toni Collette?
Toni Collette. So I think one thing to keep in mind here is I think Dustin, of course, this was his pitch that won. I think he's got a little bit more of a clear idea of his character during his pitch. Tony's, I think, it feels like he's still keeping the character more in a kind of a high, like how the characters are in the original movie, in the sense of like characterization, kind of a cartoon, her being, very vain, very kind of like over the top, thinks she's, shit doesn't stink, thinks she's smarter than this child. RJ, where are you falling?
So I like both of these pitches, actually. I think they both work for different reasons. But at the end of the day, I want the same result. And I want this actress to walk into this home and immediately crumble under the weight of everything that she sees. And whether it's Helen or Tony, I want them to come into this house and every preconceived notion completely shatter. I think kind of the build up that Tony gave us with Helen is really interesting. Having this actress who's, like you said, shit doesn't stink, very much like I know everything. Be an interesting kind of setup, especially considering I actually like this play off of Dustin's pitch. Is that we find out before they do that the ornaments aren't exactly what they seem, that the tinsel isn't exactly what it seems. And so kind of having us as the viewer have this existential dread of they don't know what we know. And when they find out, both of these characters are going to lose everything that they have built up. I like that idea a lot. Unfortunately, though, I'm leaning towards Tony because she has a scream face. She has a
you
face.
mean Dustin? You mean Dustin?
No, Tony, the actress.
Oh, okay.
Dustin's pick.
You're using a shorter version of her name. Okay, you're confusing me because you have a Tony.
My apologies.
I know you're right. I'm sorry. I forgot Tony is her actual first name.
Tony
I was thinking of
Tony
Colette.
Y. Yes.
Yeah. God, I feel dumb.
Well, it's okay. We all have it tonight. It's okay. But when I see Tony and I've seen some of the roles that she's been in, she has that face that when she walks in and she sees this house, I want her to just put on that face and bring this existential dread full circle. I want her horrified. I want her terrified. And I want her just in a state of utter panic and shock that she's brought to the table before and that I think she can bring to the table again.
All right. Andrew, what you thinking about this?
Yeah, I'm settling along the same lines as RJ, in the sense that both of them are both incredibly capable actresses. They could both pull this off if they wanted to. I do like the idea of Helen Mirren being someone who has the tables turned on them. You know what I mean? Because when we see Helen Mirren on screen, we have a sense of assured, like this person knows what they're doing. This person knows that they're kind of higher up. They're kind of more decadent. It's Helen Mirren. She's Dame Helen Mirren. She has that kind of aura on screen. So when the tables are turned, it could be a radical shift for the audience watching the movie. But Toni Collette has a little bit more of a horror background. She was in The Sixth Sense. She was in Hereditary, Ari Aster's film Hereditary. Ironically, both her and Helen Mirren were in the Alfred Hitchcock film, the one about the making of Psycho what's his name? Anthony Hopkins as Alfred Hitchcock. They were both in that movie together, which is an interesting crossover, completely random. But I do like the Toni Collette vibe more so because this movie is going to get dark very quickly. It's going to get dark very fast. And I feel like Toni Collette in this situation could lend a little bit more to the reality of the situation, of the harshness, of the body horror, of the freakouts. I mean, yeah, she does have she does have that face, that face that screaming face that is so iconic. People have made like buttons out of a Hereditary face. So it's there. So I'm going more towards Toni Collette. That's my decision.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to agree with you guys because I mean, not even just for the things you said. I think I like the angle of what Dustin's doing with the character where they're kind of sympathetic. They were laid off workers, and though they're doing something that's not good, they're going to rob somebody, even though it's some rich asshole, we're essentially being told. There's still something kind of sympathetic about him, kind of a fun with Dick and Jane kind of thing. Like, you like the people that are robbing banks and doing, so like there's an added kind of like fun / like nobody's safe kind of thing when you have these two kind of sympathetic, people trying to steal going into like a house of horrors. And so in a way you kind of are like rooting for them to somehow make it out of this. So it really turns the tables. So yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you guys. Toni Collette is going to be our Harriet. So let's go see where we're going next. All right, so this time, Tony, Dustin's pitch, I think, just convinced us a little bit more. I think more for me, it was a character thing. I think I liked where his character was coming from with the actress that you played with. So moving forward, yeah, we got Toni Collette playing Harriet, but now we have to cast the partner. We have to her partner, played by Marv. Dustin, you won the last one. Who's going to be your Marv to the Harriet?
Okay, yeah, I think one of the fun things about this game is even if you try to plan for something, I feel like you can also change it based on how things are going. And my idea for Marv is not who I'm actually going to go with, even though I thought that it was good. But because in a Steven Soderbergh film, I feel like, do you think should I say who it was or should I not? Who I was originally going to go with?
You can if you want. It's up to you.
Originally, if it was Steven Soderbergh, I was originally going to go with Michael Shannon.
Okay.
Marv. But because it's a Steven Coogler film, I feel like
Ryan Coogler.
I'm sorry, Steven
Coogler. That we're messing up names tonight and stuff. It's all good. Thank you for joining me.
Ryan Coogler. Because it's him, I feel like it absolutely has to be Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, he's in all of his films. He's his muse. I feel like he could do wonders with this role. I mean, we already know that he can play twins on screen, so there's that. Not that he's playing twins here, but he is playing. I also feel like he could be somebody. He could give Marv a sort of feeling like he's in control of things when really he's not, and he doesn't realize it. And I feel like if Toni Collette her Harriet is maybe slightly more hesitant about what they're doing, I feel like he's more gung-ho about it. But it all changes again when they actually decide to go through with the plan and see what they've walked into. And I feel like it also I just think Michael Jordan would be so fascinating. Like, and also him with Toni Collette, like it's not really a couple you would necessarily expect on screen, but I think they could really have great chemistry together just going off of each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just and also again, like I said, I just feel like Michael B. Jordan has to be in this movie.
It's kind of tough. Yeah, I mean, I was waiting for somebody to pull a Michael B. Jordan. I was like, man, you could just cast him as Kevin McAllister, because you could just take him. You could take him from back in his days when he was in Friday Night Lights. But all right, so Tony, who's going to be your Marv to the Harriet?
My Marv to the Harriet is another television star. He's been in movies as well, but I think he's mainly known as a character in the TV show again. My choice for Marv is Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul. Okay, I like it. Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
So why Aaron Paul?
Thinking back to Daniel Stern's character of Marv, I believe Aaron Paul can be a menacing version of it because it is a body horror film directed by Ryan Coogler, and as I said earlier, he does have a unique vision, and I do believe Aaron Paul may pull it off as a bumbling but very, very statistically violent sidekick. And it could work because we all know him as Jesse from Breaking Bad, and he's done that role very well. But I think Aaron Paul can be an idiot as well as a extremely violent killer at the same time. So Yeah, my choice is Aaron Paul for
your Marv is, because I mean the way Dustin describes these characters is that they were fired from Kevin's father fired them from their job, so they're
that's right. Yes,
both coming to steal from him, and
that's
so
right.
I guess
Yes.
you could say that you're saying your Marv is violent.
Yeah, Marv is there for revenge, but he really wants to really let them have it.
Yeah, I mean, he wants to steal from them, but he might have other things in mind down the road.
That's right.
You're saying.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's go see what the guys say. Aaron Paul versus Michael B. Jordan. RJ, I know we're talking about Michael B. Jordan now. Let's not talk about manga. Let's talk about them in the in the performance. Unless you're going to say it informs his acting.
Trying to say this nicely. I think Michael B. Jordan might be the worst casting I've ever heard
whoa
in my life.
That was the meanest way you could say it.
That was a hot take.
I'm just teasing. Not really. I love you, Dustin. I feel like I understand where he's coming from for sure. And when it comes to Dustin's pick of Michael B. Jordan, I see it. I understand it. I get it.
Yeah.
But the second I heard Aaron Paul, I'm thinking of these people who are victims of circumstance. They've been let off. They're in this state of distress. They're probably not in their right minds. Have you guys ever seen Michael B. Jordan not have everything like together? Like, I feel like I've never seen Michael B. Jordan in a state of disarray, whether it's movies or real life. Like, he's such a put together, handsome man that it's like Aaron Paul is always in a state of distress in one way or another, whether it's Breaking Bad, whether it's Invincible, whether it's that one show where he's a Mormon for some reason. Like, he's always in distress. Like, he's just, so it feels so natural to put him in a situation where he's not in the right state of mind. He's about to make a really stupid decision. He's about to face some horrible consequences that he doesn't understand the gravity of. It feels like Michael B. Jordan would be put in this situation. He'd find a gun somewhere and he would get his wife out no matter what the cost is. And I don't want that. I want them to go in there distressed, upset, not in their right mind, and get just the absolute shit kicked out of them by this kid who doesn't really even understand what they're doing there, but wants that taste of blood. And I can't see Michael B. Jordan, dying to this kid, because both of these people die, right? Wasn't that the original pitch?
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess, but I mean,
yeah,
I still think people are forgetting the backstory of these characters are supposed to be, people that were fired, that were you want them to die horribly. They deserve to die. That's that's the way you see it.
Wait, excuse me. We do not deserve to die. I said yes way too quickly.
Well, initially, I think that's the idea. That initially we believe that they are the antagonists because they're going to go rob this house. There's this kid who we perceive as audience members that he is vulnerable because he's a little kid alone on Christmas.
Yeah.
What are these bad people going to do that are robbing his house? And then things twist to where they become the protagonists.
Sure.
So you got to start feeling for their plight, and so they no longer are they're no longer bad guys. But going off of what RJ was saying, I do believe that, Aaron Paul can play this role with a little more believability in terms of our expectations as viewers, where we could believe that this person is in plight. We can believe that this person is not going to win this fight, if you will, or that is getting in a really bad situation. Like RJ said, if you see an Aaron Paul performance, he's always in a state of dishevelment in various ways, in various things. Unfortunately, when it comes to that, he's kind of typecast as the Jesse character from Breaking Bad. That's what everybody views him as. So his little post career for Breaking Bad hasn't really gone as well, I think, because of that. Michael B. Jordan, for me, he has this heroic aura to him. And I think that may take away a bit from what this movie's vibe is going for. I think people going into this movie, seeing Michael B. Jordan on the marquee, are going to be like, oh, it's going to be, he's going to be like a good guy or something, or he's going to be a hero, or he's going to be something like that. I mean, it's going to draw people to watch the movie, but I don't know if it's going to take away from audience expectations and leave people, in a sense of disarray. So I'm leaning towards more Aaron Paul, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, if you guys are both Aaron Paul, I guess my opinion really doesn't matter this time. But
I guess so.
I actually agree with you guys. I mean, like I was really, I mean, God, I mean, like it makes sense. Michael B. Jordan needs to be. It feels like he needs to be in this movie somewhere, and maybe he can be. I just don't think it's this character. I mean, I think I kind of agree. Like for a second, I thought about it. I was like, like maybe that's part of what could like make the audience like make their expectations be like, oh well, this kid couldn't fuck with Michael B. Jordan. I mean, look at him. I mean, he's together.
He's young Sheldon.
Yeah, and he and also like depending on, I'm assuming the place they worked at was like a corporate type place. I could see Michael B. Jordan being somebody that works for like a corporate type place, like and Aaron Paul looks like not like that kind of person, really to me. But but I think that the idea that what you're saying, yeah, like I think from what we've seen in Aaron Paul's career, not only is he good at being kind of like distressed, he's also good at getting his ass kicked. We saw it a lot in Breaking Bad. He really got his ass handed to him throughout that show, and went through a lot of pain and a lot of things. And I think that's you're going to need them skills and believability to really have a kind of like a, if you're into that, type of torture in your film. So I think, yeah, I have to agree with you guys. Aaron Paul is probably the way to go. So let's get to our mystery character. We'll see you in a second. Tony?
I can hear you.
All right, Tony.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Oh, good.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
Well, what you missed was RJ saying that I had the worst casting idea ever in the history.
Oh, that's a little that's a little harsh.
Nah.
That's a little harsh.
He was joking.
I know he was joking, but still a little harsh, never to say the least.
Well, he's mean.
I thought my Denzel Washington in the last one was one of the worst. But
no. But it's yes, we have decided to go Aaron Paul's route. So you're up, Tony. You're up 2-1. So this is kind of the decider here. Do we tie up and go for a fifth, or are we heading right into the final pitch? So our mystery character. I decided, since, like you said, Dustin, sometimes you got to make a pivot move, and you just got to decide on which character seems the most important here. And because you included him in your story pitch, we got to bring in Old Man Marley. He's in your pitch, so I'm gonna have to pull him. The neighbor, the old man who people think is already a killer himself, but really it's Kevin, and this old man kind of takes the blame for it. And so we got to figure out who this guy is. So, Tony, who's going to be your Old Man Marley?
Oh, my Old Man Marley. That is actually a tough one now.
I mean, he doesn't have a huge role, but I'm guessing he has a few scenes. I'm guessing we still have a scene where Kevin talks with him at a church. We could still have that scene, I guess.
Yeah, true.
You could still have them scenes. They're just, Kevin's just going to be like blood all over him while he's talking to him in a church. But Kevin's talking to him about like, you think you can be forgiven for doing these things and blah blah blah. And he's just like,
There's only one person I can think of that can maybe do this, but it is a weird casting choice. Unfortunately, it may destroy everything. I don't know, but my choice is Woody Allen. I'm not kidding because it's just he's always known for being a nervous character. Of course, he always plays the neurotic Jewish male or whatever, and he has the he does have the capacity to listen to people, give them some advice, but it may be some silly advice or whatever. But by the looks of him, he won't hurt a fly. Woody Allen just would not hurt a fly. But because Kevin is the killer and Marley gets the rap for it, Woody Allen is definitely the perfect choice. I know that might be a little controversial, but
it's interesting. Why does he? And this is something I want to know. You might both have different takes. Why does he decide to take the rap?
Because he saw the torment that Kevin has gone through and felt sorry for him. So basically, it's basically pity.
I mean, what torment? His family just isn't as nice to him.
But Marley doesn't know that, does he?
I guess. So Kevin tells him another story.
Yeah, Kevin tells him another story, but he doesn't know that Kevin is an evil genius. But of course, and I don't think Kevin.
By the time he figures it out, he's already taken the.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. So, Dustin, can you give us something better than Woody Allen?
That's a box office draw.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Tommy Lee Jones.
Wow.
That's a good one.
What a God. Yeah.
I mean,
that's a good one.
Think about it, because all right, you look out the window and you see him shoveling the snow, and he just seems like such a gruff, grizzled.
He doesn't. I can see him not wanting to talk to Kevin, and Kevin just keeps coming around and just annoying him.
Yeah, he annoys him. And you could totally see, like, okay, he lives alone, and he's their neighbor, and you could totally see that type of Tommy Lee Jones type of character who's a loner be somebody that everybody in the neighborhood sort of talks about, who there's this legend that he could be a serial killer and this and that. But Tommy Lee Jones has also, in his career, has done stuff where, yes, he's gruff and has a bad attitude, but he also can be warm and be, kind at the same time. So you believe at the end that he would come into the house to help and hopefully save Kevin, thinking that he's hurt and that he's saving him, and then have those tables turn so quickly when the police come and he realizes that he's been set up for the whole thing. And that because of this stigma on him, he very likely is going to go to prison for this, and people are going to believe it. So I just think Tommy Lee Jones, that would be a good choice.
All right, let's go see what the judges think. All right, guys. Tommy Lee Jones versus Woody Allen. Not a matchup I think I would have ever predicted.
You couldn't have picked two more opposite people.
Yeah, you got the angry all the time, just kind of just begrudgingly Tommy Lee Jones, and then they're neurotic. Always wanted to say something. He's got to say something about everything. Woody Allen. RJ, I don't think you're a Woody Allen guy.
You would think that, because I'm not.
Yeah, I know.
Definitely not a big fan. And I was pushing towards Tommy Lee Jones mentally. It was an actor that just makes sense. It fits, and it's almost too perfect. And so I kind of had to spend some time really thinking about Woody Allen and what he could bring to the role. And I've talked myself into Woody Allen, which is so weird. But my reasoning for it is, I think Woody Allen would make sense as somebody who, in this kind of world, and maybe I'm talking myself way too into it,
Okay.
Maybe he is just really annoying and people really just don't like him. And for some reason, maybe some high school kids who were picking on him were like, you know what? His family moved away. Maybe he killed him and then spread that rumor. And people, because they already kind of didn't like him because he's annoying, were like, you know what? Sure. And so it kind of just continued to spread. I can't see the church conversation happening with Tommy Lee Jones. I can't do it. I can see Tommy Lee Jones just punching a child in the middle of the church because he's tired of listening to this kid talk to him. That's what I can see. I can see Woody Allen sitting there being sympathetic, having this conversation with the child who's lying to him about this. Oh, well, my parents, you know, they used to hit me or whatever, you know, whatever he's lying about to justify either in his own mind or to the people around him, that eventually when they find this brutal killing, that it's rationalized and that it makes sense. So I can see Woody being this character to not only have this conversation, invest in this conversation, but eventually when the time comes, I can see him taking the blame and falling for all of the BS that young Sheldon is feeding him after he murders his entire family. I can see it wholeheartedly.
Okay. You know, Andrew, I think you might be thinking the same thing I'm thinking.
No,
he said something very interesting.
To me, that choice changes the ending of this movie dramatically.
Yes.
In terms of because Woody Allen, some type of darker Woody Allen films do have those type of melancholic twists on them. I'm thinking of Match Point, which I don't believe he was in, but I'm just saying, just in general, even oh my goodness, Bullets Over Broadway. I'm thinking of there was one he did in the 80s that he's in that I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But there are darker Woody Allen films that he is in, and that he has directed. So he can have a sinister, and by sinister I mean it's always with a comedic tinge to it, like darkly comedic, if you will. So like that changes the ending of this movie to being like a Saw type of oh my goodness type of ending to like a lighter, like Woody Allen-esque ending, because it's like he gets caught in this awful predicament at the end and you're just like, well, oh well, you know what I mean? It's fascinatingly changes the ending of this movie, while the Tommy Lee Jones character is almost like too perfect casting. Like it's straight out of Central Casting. You need an old curmudgeon of a man to just do a couple of scenes in a movie, might as well call Tommy Lee Jones now, because that's kind of what he can do the best of. And we have to also kind of remember that this character we're probably not going to see a lot in the movie. I'm assuming it's going to be very sparingly. Like we'll have this idea of like the shovel massacre guy or whatever, and then we're probably going to see him maybe throughout the movie a little bit, and then at the end, kind of similar to what we saw in the original film. But who do you want to be pinned with all of the horrific things that happen? Do you want it to be Tommy Lee Jones, or do you want it to be Woody Allen? And it's dramatically different. Like the Tommy Lee Jones one could be tragic, depending on how you swing it, and the Woody Allen one could be funny because it's Woody Allen and it's weird.
Sure.
So it's tough. Steven, what do you think?
Okay. All right. So
can I say something before you go on your spiel?
Go ahead.
Because Andrew, I disagree with you. I don't think the endings would be that different, because this kid is a mastermind. He knows he knows what he's doing. He's lying to Woody. He's telling him all the things that Woody needs to hear to take the fall for this. Obviously Woody's not there for the murders. He doesn't know what's going on. I don't even, in my head canon, like he doesn't even go into the house. I can see the police just grabbing him and him being like, yep, I did it. I killed the family because of the abuse that was going on, not realizing that eyeballs were ornaments and hair was tinsel. And at the end of the movie, when, like Dustin said, when he gives him a little smile and wave as he's getting in the back of the ambulance, he knows exactly what's going on. Kevin knows exactly what's going on, and he set him up perfectly. I don't think the ending becomes this hilarious Woody Allen story. I think it's just this dark, horrific Saw style story that just so happens to have a silly actor in a weird predicament.
I see what you're saying. You did say something that made me think, and that is that you could see him falling for this. That's one key thing that I'm thinking about is like, when I think about Tommy Lee Jones characters, I don't think about a guy that would, I do think about a guy that would maybe like take the blame for something for sure, but to like believe that this kid is just some, like, I feel like he would see through the lies. He's a little bit more smart. I don't think Tommy Lee Jones plays dumb, or he played like I think he would catch on to something. So I think I think it would almost be really fun to see Woody Allen be the guy who just like kind of like doesn't pick up on like the obvious things that something else is going on that it's not. That he would be the guy to fall. He would be the guy to fall for it, and not Tommy Lee Jones.
He'd
like
be
Tommy
way
Lee
more oblivious.
Is more, yeah. I could see Woody Allen being oblivious to the obvious signs that Kevin McAllister is not this angel, and that he's just kind of missing it every time the obvious stuff comes up. So I think that funness factor that maybe was not initially the idea for the character, but when pitched with Woody Allen, it changes my idea of what I might want to see with that character now that he pitched him with Woody Allen. And I'm like, initially I was with Dustin, like that's the version of the character I was thinking about. But then Woody Allen with RJ's kind of thought on that kind of made me think Woody Allen would be a funner take. Now, my alternative history on this, also, it would be really fun if we found out that Marley is actually a killer instead of just being just a guy. He actually is a killer. And so he's like, I knew you were a killer. I'm ready to go to prison. I'm old. Like that would have been a cool twist. But that's not a reality. But I'm going to agree. Woody Allen's my pick. I'm going to go Woody Allen.
All right. I mean, so Woody Allen is also RJ's pick if we're reading the tea leaves. So yeah.
I'm sorry. Like at first I was like, oh fuck, like Tommy Lee Jones, like that's for sure, slam dunk. But then the more we thought about it, we stewed on it, and RJ said his thing. Like I was like, dude, that's the pick. So I'm going Woody Allen, man. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a twist on this whole thing. So Tony, man, he pulled it off. Dustin, I'm sorry, man. I thought yours was a slam dunk at first, but then RJ, he doesn't. I don't think RJ knows a lot. I don't think he's seen a lot of Woody Allen movies, but for some reason he said the right words, and he got me.
I respect, but I have to say that I could potentially see somebody like Steven Soderbergh casting Woody Allen, even though I don't believe Woody Allen would. Like, I don't think, whether you agree or not, like I don't think that he could possibly be cast today in a major motion picture. But I don't believe Ryan Coogler would cast him in a film.
I mean, I don't think Ryan Coogler would cast any of these people in the movie, but because he's been primarily an advocate for African American actors, and we have not picked one black person in this movie.
Oh my! I didn't think of that. Crap! Oh, you didn't another racist episode.
No, it doesn't matter really. But I'm just saying, if we were really going by reality here, he probably would have casted one black person in his main cast. Oh, yeah. But no, I just think that me, I'm a twisted guy, and I want some twisted stuff in here. And yeah, Woody Allen in the real world would probably not even be thought of for this thing. But I think it's twisted, and I think it makes for something really interesting to end this film. And in my head canon, I am saying that Woody Allen says, "Oh, I'm a killer too. I just decided to take the blame. Fine, whatever." I think that would be hilarious.
It would be.
Yeah. But that's it, guys. Tony got 3 out of the 4 characters, so Tony took 2 out of the 3 rounds. So the only way Dustin can hang on to some credit is if he pitches the better title and tagline. If you do that, you guys will both be co-winners. So let's see what we got here. Tony, do you have a title and tagline for this beast of a movie?
Well, I put the title Home Alone, but I got to think of another one. So my tagline though is Lord have mercy on their souls who misunderstand this child.
Okay.
That's my tagline.
Okay.
But for the title, I got to think of that. What's a good title? I think the only title that I can think of would have to be The Protector. The Protector of the House.
All right. The Protector. God have mercy on their souls that don't understand this child. All right. Dustin, what is your title pitch? Title tagline.
All right. My title is Filthy Animal.
Filthy Animal. All right.
Because, well, obviously, while he's watching his shows on TV, he watches, Angels with Filthy Souls. Of course, that's the classic line about keep the change, you filthy animal. Yeah. And I feel like, and then it also just, it matches sort of like, Kevin is basically turned into this filthy animal, this psychopath.
So this commentary on movies make people crazy.
Yes, and then and then the tagline: this holiday season, Kevin McAllister will make his family disappear.
Oh man! All right, we're gonna bring everybody in. All right, guys. So,
hey, before you go on, can the judges say something just in case I can't hear them?
What's going on?
Hello. Excellent.
All right.
All good.
All right. All right. So we got two very different kind of titles here. We got Filthy Animals in this holiday season. Kevin McAllister will make his family disappear. And then, Tony, remind me of your title.
The Protector.
The Protector. And God have mercy on the souls that don't understand this child. Guys, where are we at? Andrew?
I like Dustin's like ambiguous title.
Yeah.
I thought his tagline was a little too long. I don't know if you needed the whole Kevin McAllister name drop in there. I thought maybe could have switched that out a little bit. But I like the whole filthy animal because it's ambiguous, and obviously what we know is that it is about the Kevin McAllister character. So I don't think you needed that Kevin McAllister name drop in the.
It's okay. I mean, take it or leave it, but yeah.
But I like the title. But I do like Tony's tagline. I think is really good. The Protector is also rather ambiguous because obviously Kevin being the protector of his home, which gives us a false sense of like, hey, he's the good guy protecting his home from bad guys, when indeed that's not the case.
Yeah.
But I'm leaning more towards Dustin.
Okay. RJ.
I actually also really like the Protector title because as I'm thinking about this whole story, it's definitely not good guy versus bad guy. It's protagonist versus antagonistic force, rather than like an antagonistic force being this morally ambiguous or morally questionable group of characters who are doing something to the protagonist, whether the protagonist is good or bad, which is irrelevant. But I like the title Protector, or The Protector. I think it's interesting, but man, Filthy Animals is like almost too perfect. I love it too much, and it's just I'm sorry, Tony. I really liked it. I liked where you were going.
Oh, good.
But Filthy Animals is way too perfect.
And it's Filthy Animals or Animal?
Oh yeah, true.
I had Animal.
Animal. Okay. All right. So yeah, I have to agree, man. Filthy Animal is just such a good title. And honestly, like it would be fun for the movie to be called The Protector, so that people will get it confused with the Tony Jaa movie. But I mean, yeah, I mean, but Filthy Animal is kind of a perfect title, and yeah, I don't have a problem with. I mean, Tony's was long too. His tagline was long too. So I don't think that putting his name in the tagline is a problem. That's how a lot of taglines used to be back in the day. It's very long and so.
Originally, I was thinking this holiday season, make your family disappear, but then I was like, well, it's not your family; it's his family.
Yeah, yeah. So, but I think that Dustin gets this, man. I really love that title. So yeah, now we have you guys. You know what? You're just partners on this thing, man. You both changed the film at the same rate here, and so you both are co-owners of this new body horror version of Home Alone, directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Ian Armitage, Toni Collette, Aaron Paul,
and Woody
Allen. Filthy Animals, guys. What a trip. Great mutation. I want to thank you, everybody, for being here. Thanks to the judges, RJ and Andrew, of course, as always. Everybody, thanks for watching this mutation, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you. See you later.
Bye.